Yeah, bro, we're doing Collins tonight, so it's talking about whatever. I'm in the Jewish tunnel right now.
Bro, I mean, I don't even think there was really anything nefarious about it, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help. You know what I mean?
From what I've seen, it looks like there's some code, some code like city code, building codes and stuff that they're coming up against, and that's like the major issue. And like I get it,
There's
especially
structural issues. Yeah, I mean,
especially
that's
in like
what.
New York, bro. Like you can't just be digging tunnels in New York, my guy. Like that's not that's not chill. You can't do that. You can't build in catacombs under these skyscrapers, bro. That's not structurally safe.
Yeah, so I feel like that debate, I'm not even going to take debate. Like, I don't know. They were primitive, so I don't know how the people didn't know that that was happening. That you know what I mean? Because where was the dirt going? You have to be moving the dirt somewhere else. You have to get rid of the dirt that you're tunneling out.
To tell you the truth, bro, I think most of that is like, oh man, I think most of that is like sub basements and cellars that they've just like collapsed walls into. You know what I'm saying? Like old stuff that was already there, and they've just kind of like made like a makeshift tunnel network into it.
So obviously, when you first go down, that's the basement. You know what I mean? I lived in Philadelphia, so everybody. So actually, there was places that were used during the Underground Railroad. So some people's basements would have tunnels in them,
Yeah,
whether they
yeah.
would go 3 or 4 houses down. Right? They were used to smuggle people. They were used to smuggle slaves. But I see people said that too. But I guess the Underground Railroad ran all the way to Canada too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what's the
No,
matter, bro? What's so funny?
no, it's
I like
freaking.
jokes, bro.
Okay, first of all, it's Anima Mia in the chat. I just got this guy with a melee kill, but anime, and then I got knocked out. But anime me in the chat said, "My mom told me if I dig deep enough, I'd dig a hole straight to China. Not even halfway there, I stopped digging because I heard shalom."
Did you see? There's a guy who lived near there. So back in December, he goes like this. He's like, "Yo, I swear I'm hearing Yiddish and I'm hearing banging and digging." He said, and "I'm on the ground floor and there's no basement." So if this was Justin, like, and because he always clowns me when I say stuff, and it's like, bro, like, imagine being that guy, telling your family, telling your friends, "Yo, I'm hearing voices and I'm hearing digging," and then he was right. He was literally right. I don't know, man. It was very weird. I didn't have that on my bingo card. I don't think anybody did. And then the one guy that came out through the bars, and it looked like they had cut them so they could have another entrance. That's probably how they were getting the dirt out. If we're being honest, they were probably excavating the dirt right through the street.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think.
I don't think there was, like I said, I think the majority of it was probably already, like, there, and they just took advantage of existing structures. And maybe, like, a lot of it was just straight up dumped into, like, other rooms. Because it looked like from the video, at least from that New York one, that some of those chambers were pretty large. Like, it looked
Well,
like a whole sub-basement that was just, like, the wall was knocked down to get into.
right, but no, you'll have to go back to I'll have to like screenshot it. No, they did some pretty extensive tunneling. That one tunnel, and it wasn't big. It wasn't part of a sub basement. But again, what were they tunneling to? Like, you know what I mean? To like, what do you need a tunnel for? I can understand
To get out,
expanding.
bro.
Well, that goes back to the pogroms, and it goes back
Yeah.
to the old school. It does in Russia. A lot of synagogues do have tunnels. So I mean, maybe it was during COVID. They were worried about COVID lockdowns again
That's
because they
true,
did
though.
get killed. They got hurt, and so did Christians too.
It's the
Let's
same
not lie.
community. Like, it's the Orthodox Jews that are like
Right,
caught up in it. So it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
right. Right. You're Orthodox, and they were very just like certain Catholic, certain Christian faiths were. They shut down churches, man. Like, what are we doing here, too? I mean, it was very bad, but
Yeah, I'm in Sandy's dome, bro. What are you gonna do? Oh, he shot me. I guess you could shoot through the dome. I'm in the Krusty Krab, bro. Bro, look, I'm in the Krusty Krab in
hold on,
SpongeBob.
check it out.
And this is so chill. Somebody made this in the arcade editor. Can I get in here? I'm ready. Bro, I'm vibing. Hello, hello. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
You're live on the
Yo, what's up, bro?
Not much, not much. Just went and grabbed me a beer, so now I'm here to sit down and talk.
Nice.
With
Nice.
the boys.
Hey, what do you think about the these tunnels, these Jewish tunnels, bro?
Bro, that is the funniest shit. Like,
I've been laughing so hard.
I don't know. So I think Todd's gonna have some crazy shit to say because he's been posting this in Intrigue. It's been some crazy stuff, but not necessarily anything I'd
See,
particularly.
there he goes. There he goes.
Yeah.
What did I say earlier?
Hey,
Clive? I said there's nothing
You did not let me
nefarious.
finish. Hey, you did not let
I
me finish.
literally said there's nothing nefarious.
My point is like, what do you think about it, Scribe? Like, what do you think like the origins of those tunnels were? Because I've heard some stuff about COVID, or just like a child molesting. I don't know if that's like good for YouTube. Tell me if it's not, but just like a bunch.
No, not really, but it'll be fine. We'll
Okay.
survive. We'll
But
survive.
a bunch of crazy stuff happening with children or just COVID stuff. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah, we got hold on, we got a couple other callers too. We'll bring them in real quick and we'll talk about it.
How's it going, man?
Perfect timing. We were talking about the Jewish tunnels.
Oh, dude, tell me about
I don't know
it.
anything about the tunnels.
The Jewish tunnels, bro. Hold on, let me pull up my
I know nothing about that, Luke.
my whole timeline on X has been.
Bro,
Jewish
you
tunnels.
know, you were in. We got you on tape.
Just a preschool teacher. I use the tunnels to get to and from work.
I'm streaming them right now.
I don't want to talk about that, Luke.
What do you want to talk about, Carson? Thanks for joining, bro.
Anything but.
Bro, I was
Carson's
scared.
here to distract from the Jewish tunnels. He was sent here by Mossad.
It
I don't want to
sounds
talk.
like
I don't
it.
want
make
to
sure we
talk
don't
about
talk
that.
about the Jewish tunnels.
Yeah, let's talk
Sounds
about
like
football.
Let's talk
here.
about Ohio State versus Nebraska State.
Yeah.
What do you think about the scandal where they were doing?
They were stealing signs.
Yeah, who cares?
I care. Me.
Who fucking cares?
All this
Who
tunnel
fucking
talk is
cares?
all hearsay. They actually deflated the balls and they stole the signs.
Whatever, old man. Go smoke.
There's
some
evidence
weed.
of that.
I think personally, the videos we found of the tunnels and the Jews coming out of it, it's all CGI. It's not real.
I love it. I think it's the funniest optics
I agree.
ever.
Man,
No, there's been hella tunnels. Look, I'm gonna show you guys a tunnel.
what is the? I
Bro,
I don't see any evidence, Luke, of the tunnels.
Here's a tunnel. Look at this. This is
That's not a tunnel. That's a church. The synagogue.
synagogue, bro. It's got a tunnel in it.
Synagogue.
Look, there's the tunnel. They made a tunnel.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
There it is.
I told you that tunnels.
It's fucking crazy. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
They escape.
Escape from the shoot.
Check it out. This is it right here. Really, this is the real Jewish tunnel.
This guy, keep going.
Check
Keep
it out.
digging. I did see that. That was
CGI.
funny.
It's CGI. It's not real.
How
He
come
runs
every time
away.
every time you see a person dressed like this in a video, they're never acting normal? You never see them normal.
Yeah, they're never real.
They're always so skittish. Like what the fuck?
It's the AI generated person.
It's like the when Jumanji, when Robin
Yeah,
Williams
yeah.
comes back.
Thing.
You
Bro,
won.
better be looking at.
I was
Jumanji,
talking-
yeah.
I was talking with Todd about it earlier. I think a lot of this stuff in New York though was like sub basements and cellars that was already there, and they just like knocked walls down and connected them.
I do think that's plausible. Like they were just not. However, I did hear that they were removing massive amounts of dirt,
Okay.
and like hiding it. Like they were, in this, like in Shawshank, where he's got to like hide the dirt in his pockets. It's just strange, and like someone was saying, like,
I think it's completely plausible they could do a little bit of both.
yeah, maybe, yeah, absolutely. Like maybe they like got the idea. They're like down there, like, oh, what if we knock down this wall and we start digging, down this way? And it'd be interesting to see anybody's like on the street reports from the last like 6 or 8 or 12 months, like that one, the one Twitter post where they were like, oh, I hear Yiddish underneath my.
Yes.
Like that's the kind of stuff
Yeah,
that should have been extremely common. Like the last 12 months, like people would have noticed.
Yeah, but imagine that guy. Imagine him telling his family and telling his friends, "Yo, I'm hearing Yiddish and I'm hearing
Yeah,
digging
right.
under my apartment."
Right.
They probably told him he was crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
Sound like an insane person. Yeah.
Todd brought that up earlier, and I can only imagine like the feeling of vindication dude man has after seeing you.
I told you there was Jews digging underground. They're digging underground tunnels. I told you.
Yeah, I mean, not even that, just running from like Nazis.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like, because that gets brought up a lot, especially when we're talking about the Jewish people. It's like how much of this really is like a holdover of that like generational trauma or whatever. They're just like, hey, they're just. It's like how vastly different is that really from like the prepper in the Midwestern United States with his bunker?
Are you saying that this is
what I mean?
this is an ethnic, this is a traditional thing to dig underground, like Jews dig underground tunnels everywhere?
Maybe they're just like
That they
getting
go?
ready. They're just prepping.
Just in case.
They're
Let's
just
dig a
prepping.
tunnel.
Let's take it to the next step. Where were they tunneling to
Well,
get
they were
out?
saying-
They're just using it to get out, bro. That's it. Just general
Get out
escaping,
of what? To where though? Like
Just
where are you going? Like what?
fleeing. my
Like
man.
you were saying, like where are you going? What?
New York's like a super old city, and this is what I meant about like the sub-basement stuff. Like you really don't know like how much is under there that has just been like bricked over. You know what I mean? Like remember that
Right.
picture where dude was like renovating his house and he pulled up. There's like a manhole cover up under his like hardwood. I'll put it up on the stream here in a second, but I can only imagine it's just like how much is actually buried up underneath there, how much is actually bricked up in New York specifically. Like this is
Yeah,
the picture on stream, but it's just
They
dude,
dug it themselves. They didn't stumble onto a tunnel. They dug the tunnel themselves, kind of like the Viet Cong.
Well,
Well,
I think people were making the argument, like, and I think it's plausible that they were sort of knocking down barriers to existing, which would make a little bit more sense as far as like logistics. Like for them to move that much dirt and like do all this much work in like 6 to 8 months, like that's a lot of work, very noticeable. But if they were knocking down barriers to like old whatever it is, old sewers, I'm not a
subway tunnels that were closed, like that's a lot of work that's already done for you,
Exactly. So if you're just knocking down, like, oh, they bricked over it, so it's closed off and people can't get to it.
Well, yeah, it's definitely weird. Like religious extremists do a lot of weird things, right? I don't know if it's necessarily just weird Jews doing something. I think that like Westboro Baptist Church or like other sects that are like super culty and stuff do really weird shit too.
This is why I brought up the bunker thing, because like that's what we've got. That's what we've got. Like Midwestern white Christians have bunkers and like buried gun safes and stuff like that.
Yeah, or
Okay, I'll grant that.
Down like Mark Carmel and stuff like that, and I don't know if it's necessarily abnormal for abnormal people to do abnormal things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like that's why it's also funny, like the Orthodox Jews, because it's just like I see them and I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, exactly, and it's in the same way that you see some other extremists too. You're like, oh well, that makes sense. I mean,
I don't think it's like people questioning it in like a broad sense, like, oh, why would you ever dig a hole to hide in? Like, okay, I can understand. Like, in a broad sense, like, yeah, you dig underground safes, you dig some bomb shelter or whatever it is that you're trying to make. It's just the clandestine and bizarre nature with respect to like where they are. Like as far as I know, that's not like they were digging into other people's property. It wasn't like they were.
Yeah, for sure.
It was this like, oh, we found this. What was the guy in like the 80s where they Al Capone's like underground bunker or whatever. Like, okay, you got an underground bunker, you have an underground safe, whatever it is. Like this was. It seems pretty extensive. Whatever they were working on.
There is something uncanny about seeing people come out from the underground and building subterranean stuff for sure. Like if I saw
when it's like an Orthodox Jew, that's like the funniest image. Like
cave people coming out and they're like wearing, speaking fucking Hebrew. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck's happening? It's definitely weird.
You guys were making statements about like some form of escape routes and things like that, but what do those guys have to escape from? Because that sect of Hasidics like literally run New York and that area.
Think, people make the argument like, oh, what would Jews ever have to escape from? What in their history would they ever feel like they needed to have an escape route from?
This is the one where it's like, even in modern times, like they've still got it maintained. It's a separate part of the world too, so it's like this shows like a parallelism, at least like internationally. They dig tunnels. So like this guy specifically says it's for the pogroms, that this is a remnant.
Is this an older video, or is this in response?
Yeah, this is an older video. Check this out. It's like up under the altar here. He said they made a tunnel. There it is. They and it looks exactly like the New York tunnel. It looks the same. But yeah, they escape. It's from, I think this is like some Holocaust anxiety, some like leftover.
Yep.
trauma
yeah.
that, and it's like I said, it's no different. Like, it's a cultural thing because like, but it's not different wildly from like Midwestern white Christians building
It differs
bunkers
a
and
little
stuff
bit. It differs a little bit.
on the
It does.
surface.
Historical
I
context.
get the comparison, but I think it differs a little bit. I get what you're saying.
They're just prepping for something bad, and this is
Right.
like the context that they see. Like they see like bad stuff happening as like, ah, shit, we gotta get out, we gotta flee.
Well, yeah, you have to remember, like, I mean, Jews in general, along with a lot of like Christians, are they're waiting on the end of the world. Why not be prepared? You know?
Yeah, that is true. They're also an apocalyptic religion as well.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason
Well,
why you just
and-
wouldn't do that. because
Yeah,
of that,
they.
but,
I
Todd's
get-
about to tell us about sex cults and
No. I'm not even going there because we're on YouTube. Because we're on YouTube, and I won't even get into blood libels or anything like that.
yeah, I'm not
but-
going to pretend
yeah.
that those don't exist for sure.
Well,
they do.
So they asked permission, right? I guess I don't know how many students, and then I don't know. They didn't tell you the why. The forward posted, and I'll post the article too. And it's like, so they asked permission to dig, and then they never told you why. They were told no, and then they did it anyway. So you can't even really blame the synagogue itself. They told them don't do it. I mean, or maybe it's
They did
plausible
that.
deniability.
Where'd you see that? That they
I'll send it. It's in the forward. It's the article. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to see it. That's so funny, dude. Just the whole image, because it's especially to like this other one. It's an older video, different part of the world, still Orthodox Jews, still
'Cause
the
honestly,
same
if,
exact
like,
guy.
the second this breaks OPSEC, like the second someone finds out about this, it's useless. Because like that's the first thing people are going to look for is like say whenever
Yeah.
apocalypse breaks out that they're like that doesn't even make. I don't get why this guy's like showing where they have a tunnel because that's the whole point.
They got new tunnels now, bro.
Yeah, I guess. So.
They're building them as we speak. You're gonna go to the first tunnel, but that's the
Right.
decoy tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. Decoy tunnel.
Yo, all I know is Cartman called it, bro. Cartman literally called it.
He
So
did on South
that I
Park.
do know.
The answer is obvious, my friends. It is the Jews. Covetous Jews who have taken all our money and hoarded it for themselves. Hidden all the cash in some secret Jew cave that they built, probably back in the early 60s.
What in the world?
Boom.
When did they
That's
make
a great
that
episode.
When did they make
Nope.
that? That's funny. I'm not upset about, I don't know. I'm less sensitive about people poking fun at my group.
Well, you don't get canceled for talking about Christians, so you know what I mean? It's actually encouraged.
When I grew up in the deep South, they were telling me all the time that like we should attack Christians any chance we get. And that was like the first thing they taught us. That like
Listen,
you know,
bro.
it was literally hunt
Listen,
them down.
Justin.
They are the
Where?
enemy.
Listen, Justin.
I'm
shut
just
up.
saying, I just distinctly remember in school learning to, hunt down Christians, and the methods they would use to try to hide,
I mean,
obviously I'm joking.
this is something we touched on a little bit last week, but I feel
We
like
did, we did.
they've subdivided us all into these like little meme culture groups, and like that's why I like to bridge the gap. I like to travel like to all those different groups online. Like I'll jump into every single different guest room chat in the politics server. I talk to a bunch of different YouTubers of all different kinds. Doesn't matter what kind of content they make, because I believe we have a responsibility, seeing all this stuff, seeing the effort that they're going through to fracture all these people and fracture all these groups and structure the conversations that we're allowed to have, right? I think
Yeah.
we have a responsibility to pull a Jewish tunnel and break down those walls and really get in there. And I enjoyed talking to everybody. We're gonna do some more structured conversations too. We do it every week, and we have an obligation to reach out to people where they're at. The purpose of the internet is to keep parts of us alive for longer than our shelf life. The stuff that we do, for better or worse, it reflects who we are, and this stuff ends up collecting online like sediment, and it's like you can peek through the layers of internet history and see pieces of people, and I feel like we're contributing to that right now, and that's something that I think is just so profound and fantastic, and I look forward to doing it more in the future. But thank you guys so much for coming by. Love you guys, and until next time, appreciate you guys. Safe travels.